In the last video, we discussed on the eligibility criteria for Canada PR application. This video will show you how to create an express entry profile. Before creating an express entry profile, you must consider the following things. First, you need to gather documents. You will need two things for creating an express entry profile. First is the IELTS score, second is the ECA report. Once you create an express entry profile, the express entry profile is valid for 1 year. During this period, in the meantime, you can update your profile anytime to add extra points. For example, let's say your IELTS score has improved, then you can update this information on your profile to get additional points. Similarly, you can update your work experience or education, and the CRS score will be updated accordingly. Now, the express entry draw happens twice a month, and if your score is above the cutoff value, you will be invited to apply. Once you get an invitation to apply, then you have 60 days to submit all the documents and pay the fees. Remember that once you get an invitation, you cannot change your personal information. Now let's see how you can create an express entry profile. As of now, IRCC has been accepting only PNP candidates, but sooner they will accept a general express entry. Now, to get an idea about your case, you can look at the CRS score distribution of candidates, the express entry pool as of June 6, 2022. So if your CRS score is more than 500, you are more or less sure that you will be getting an invitation for general express entry. In general, any score greater than 470 or more has a high chance of getting an invitation. For general express entry, you need a high CRS score, but for CEC, you can get invitation with a relatively lower score. If you have a Canadian education and degree, you can apply for the PNP program where you get 600 additional points. Therefore, you can see the cutoff of PNP is always very high. Now that you know how you fit in the express entry pool, let's open an express entry profile. The first thing is to create an express entry profile. Click on this link. Click on create or sign in to your account. So here, if you already have an account, you can click on sign in with JC key. If you do not have an account, you have to click on register. Click on apply to come to Canada. Now go down and click on express entry. So select the province which you are interested in. I will select British Columbia. Click on next. So click on the language test you have taken. I'll click IELTS. Click on next. Click on next. Click on next. Do you have any other language test? Here I will click none. Click on next. So here in the last 3 years, how many years of skilled work experience do you have in Canada? So I will click on 1 year or more. So you have to mention the NOC code for this particular work experience. In my case, I will click on A. If you don't have Canadian work experience, you can click on none of the above. Click on next. So as you can see, based on my answers, I am eligible to apply for express entry. So we will click on continue. So here enter your name. Click on next. So you have to give your personal details, you have to give your contact details, you have to give your study and languages details, and then you have to give your application details. And if you have any representative, you have to give the details of the representative. So now let's click on the start form. Click on next. Click on next. Click on yes. Here click on passport. Now here enter your passport details. Click on save and add. Click on next. So if earlier you have applied for Canadian visa, then you can click on yes, otherwise click on no. So since I already have a work permit, I will click on yes. So if you have applied for express entry before, you can click yes, otherwise click on no. So here you have to enter your UCI number. Here I will click on Canada. So here you have to select on how many family members do you have. I'll click on 4. So here you have to enter the amount what you will be bringing to Canada. Click on next. So if you have a relative who is a citizen or permanent resident of Canada, you can click yes, otherwise click on no. Click save and exit. Now let's check on the contact details. Language of correspondence, click on English, click on next, enter your email address, click on save and exit. Now let's fill the study and languages form, click here. So here you have to give your educational details, click on yes. So if you have a Canadian degree, diploma or certificate, then you can click on yes, otherwise click on no. So if you do not have a Canadian degree, then you need to do your educational credential assessment or ECA. I will click on yes. I will click on yes. Here enter your ECA certificate number. Level of education. Click on save and add. Click on next. So here you have to give the details of the language test. Click on English. Click on yes. IELTS general training. Click on save and exit. So this is complete. Now let's fill the application details. Start form. Which provinces or territories would you like to consider living in? I will select British Columbia. Click on yes. Click on next. So if you have received any nomination certificate from a province or territory, you can click yes, otherwise click on no and save and exit. Now let's fill this representative form. If you want to hire a representative, you can click yes. I will click on no. Now let's fill this work history form. So here you have to enter the NOC code for the particular work experience you are claiming points for. I'll click on this. Click on the day when you are eligible to work. Click on no. Click on no. Click on next. So if you have a work history, you have to click yes. So hours per week is 40. Enter your job title. Enter the country. Click on yes. So here you have to enter the details of your work permit. Click on save and add. Now click on next. Click on yes. Click on yes. Click on save and exit. Now that you have filled all the form and you can see you have a checklist here, click on continue. So here you have to agree. Click on agree. Click on sign. Click on transmit. So now you have successfully submitted your application. Now you can click on check full application status. So once you have created the Express Entry profile, you can see the details about your profile. So here you can see I am eligible for Federal Skilled Worker Program and I am also eligible for Canadian Experience class. So the CRS score in my case is 496 and here is a breakup of my CRS score. I hope you like this video. Please leave comments below if you have any questions. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.